How you guys doing? Welcome to Phie.Love Intuitive Conversations. I hope you guys are good. Yeah. If you like my content, please do like, share, and subscribe. And if there's any negativity, if there's any hate, please do keep that on your side of the street, okay? Won't be acknowledged. So, family, in this video, I'm being guided by Spirit to touch a little bit on the topic of following through on boundaries that you have started to develop for yourself. Okay. When you start internally changing and you recognize that you've been existing in the very common self-sacrificing energy, right? That self-sacrificing energy is seeded and programmed into many by different ways and methods in the system, right? Including religion. And it's an uncommon energy for people to live in a reality and a space and in a place of enforcing personal boundaries, a place of enforcing your personal authority, right? A place of protecting your energy, a place for someone being somebody who says no, being somebody who stands their ground, being somebody who's awake and aware and has no issue in drawing the line between you and the next person. Asserting yourself, not by drama or too much action or too many words, but by in a way of protection, right? In a way of non-defense, in a way of calmly, moving accordingly, in a way that awakens people to themselves. When you start moving into this place, that is an extremely uncommon place to be, right? You'll naturally start receiving a lot of pushback in the energetic space as well in the physical realm. That's when you start also realizing how you've actually been a source of energy, maybe even resources and balance to many other people out there. If you're somebody who's had to now start moving into the energy of developing and enforcing boundaries for yourself, right? In the beginning, it can be difficult. In the beginning, standing through the negotiations, standing through the projections of people projecting onto you that you're making them a victim by saying no. You're making them a victim by preserving and conserving and protecting your own energy, right? You're making them a victim by pulling back your resources. You're making them a victim by putting yourself first. You're making them a victim by making them see themselves through your actions of looking after yourself. People don't like that. When you reach that point, it can be difficult to stick to your boundaries, especially when you're somebody that people have decided that they're going to depend on, right? And for the longest time, you've had yourself in the position of allowing yourself to be the person that people, depend on and don't really have to put the effort into taking accountability and finding a way to depend on themselves. You can be turned into a villain very quickly. And, it can be painful. But in the same breath, Spirit needs you to take yourself seriously. And in taking yourself seriously, you will also In taking yourself seriously, you will also awaken to the people who don't take you seriously, right? And you need to take seriously the ones that show you they don't take you seriously. Because the ones who don't take you seriously, the ones who don't take your boundaries seriously, the ones who don't take your authority seriously, are the ones that you're going to end up just continuously sacrificing yourself to, right? And they will gladly do it, regardless of you having said no, regardless of you having attempted to draw a line. Your follow through matters. Your follow through is a reflection of you taking yourself seriously, of you enforcing your boundaries, and you being serious about training people on the outside of you to respect you, to respect your boundaries, and to respect your energy, and to respect your space. How can people take your personal authority seriously if you don't take your personal authority seriously? They'll think that you're just a joke, that what you're doing, what you're saying, the lines you're drawing, the boundaries you're putting up, is you being a joke, right? They'll make it irrelevant. They'll ridicule it, and they will for some time in the beginning. That's something you need to stand through as well. Something you need to take on the chin, take on the chest. Stand your ground regardless of how people respond to your authority and your boundaries, to you saying no. Some will think it's a joke, and they will laugh, and they will ridicule, and they will make you feel like, they will tell you, insinuate, and make you feel like what you're doing is ridiculous, what you're doing is stupid. How dare you? Because they don't understand you being the person who says no. They don't understand you being the person with boundaries. They don't understand you being the person who puts yourself first. They don't understand you being the person who has them take accountability and responsibility for themselves. They don't understand you not being the person who doesn't include them in your decision and thought process. They don't understand you being the person who says, you know what, right now I just need my own space. I don't want you in my space. They don't understand your silence. You haven't gotten to the point yet where your silence is all that you need to say. Where your silence says, I don't want this. Especially for our men out there who are taken advantage of by friends, who are taken advantage of by family. Again, like we said in our last videos, who have mothers who don't respect their boundaries, who don't respect their word, who don't respect their space, who don't respect their position. That's when it matters most. You need to follow through. You say no and you mean no. Let them throw tantrums. Let them negotiate. Let them try and guilt you, manipulate you. You just observe. I've said it before in other videos. Spirit needs you to follow through on the boundaries that you're starting, that you have developed, that you are starting to develop for yourself. And if there are people who you have let go of, if there are people who you have moved into the category of your past, when the cycle comes around again for them to try and come back into your energy, because the cycle will come around again, you stand your ground, you say no, You don't feed it, you don't give it energy, you don't allow it to become a feature in your reality again. You let it be a moment and you let it pass. Okay? If you don't respect yourself, if you don't respect and value your own authority and your boundaries, nobody on the outside is going to do it. Nobody on the outside who you naturally just give to, whether it's physically, energetically, your attention, your advice, whatever it might be. Nobody on the outside is going to move into a place of self-restraint, self-control, and suddenly wake up one day and have consideration for you. No. You have to do it yourself. And you have to awaken to the people who actually have no regard for you, your energy, your resources, and would rather put the burden of their own responsibilities onto you, who are okay with you taking on a burden, are okay making themselves your responsibility. I don't care who it is. Even your wives. Be okay with your wives being accountable for themselves, where they want to be and where they can be, so that you can also feel respected. You can feel like it's an equal give and take, and like somebody is not just constantly taking from you all the time. Because we know many women of today, many entitled women, many women who are used to being dependent on men and who have the mentality of men being a sole provider. They become comfortable in that. They become complacent. They become very entitled. They don't know how to handle it. If shifts happen, right? It's just take all the time. And the moment you can't give, the moment you need a break, the moment you start awakening to what the dynamic is, it's drama, it's manipulation, it's deflection, it's accusations. Suddenly, you can't trust somebody anymore, right? So, Spirit really needs you to follow through. And if you need help, just ask. Ask the divine to help you follow through. Ask the divine to awaken you to where you need to put up boundaries. Ask the divine to help you develop and recognize where you need to grow and develop your own authority and your boundaries. Ask the divine to help you follow through. Excuse me. Okay. Don't let people ridicule you or minimize your need for boundaries somewhere. Okay? Friends, people who are entitled to you, people who are entitled to your energy, people who expect you, and I said it a little earlier, people who expect you because you've created a cycle of including too many people in your decision process, in your thinking process, in your, people don't even realize that they do this because of the need for attention, because of the need for acknowledgement, because of the need for external validation. You don't even realize how many people you include in your thought process, in your decision-making processes, where you should actually not be having people a part of it. Because that means you end up making decisions that are influenced and filled with the energy of everybody else on the outside. the fears and whatever people have inside going on with them, whoever you've included into your process, then you get down the line and you don't feel fulfilled with decisions that you've made. You feel like you've done things because and for other people. You're in a place where you don't want to take accountability for your life because you've made decisions that were constantly influenced by things and people on the outside. So when someone says take accountability, take ownership for your life, it's not the easiest thing to do, right? Because you've made decisions throughout your lifetime that were always based on the outside world, based on what the atmosphere and the energy of the outside is expecting, or you believe is expecting out of you. So when it's time to take accountability, you don't feel like you've made decisions that you've made. It's everyone else, right? So really, it's important on so many levels to have your boundaries in place, to take your own personal authority seriously, and to follow through and stick to it. You're training the outside world to respect your boundaries. You're training the outside world to respect your personal authority. You're training the outside world to respond appropriately when you say no. You're training the outside world to respond appropriately when you don't give it the energy and the attention it's looking for. Recognize who's entitled to your attention as well, who feels entitled to your attention and your energy. Those are people that you need to get out of, okay, immediately, okay, because those are the ones who pull on your energy the most, they influence your energy the most, and they make you prioritize them energetically before you even get into it with them physically. Their energy is already pulling at you to prioritize them. So you interfere with where it is you're trying to be focused. You stop what you're doing because the energy of somebody else is pulling on you. The energy of somebody else is expecting you to make them the priority. The energy of somebody else is expecting your reality to be about them. And there's a lot of people out there, especially people who are dependent, people who don't know how to be by themselves, people who don't know how to not be getting acknowledgement, validation, and attention from others on the outside. They want everybody's world to be about them, right? And if you focus on yourself for some time, pay attention to the people who end up in your face, who are always calling. The moment you try and focus on yourself, the moment you try and check out of the world, who starts calling you? Who starts trying to come into your energy? Who starts bringing you their drama? Who starts suddenly having problems? Who starts suddenly needing something? Those are people who pick up that you're sort of checking out. There's a break in the energy when you try and focus on yourself, right? And you don't even realize it. So when this also happens, start paying attention to who responds to you checking out of the energy. How are they responding? How are they trying to get you back focused on them? How are they trying to get control of your focus, your attention, and your energy again? This takes time, it takes practice, and it takes awareness, right? So if you're trying to focus on something, make sure you focus on it. And make sure that if someone tries to disturb you or come into your energy, your attention, and your space while you're doing that, that you consciously start developing a cycle where you tell yourself you'll deal with it later when you're done with what you're doing. And you will feel the pull pay attention, you'll feel the pull of the energy. But it's up to you to train yourself to not respond to that pull, to not give in and submit to it. And it will agitate other people, but let it be. You're training a new energy and a new way in, and a new way of understanding your energetic communication between yourself and others, and also where it is that you're distracted, where it is that you're split. The story of boundaries, it's a layered issue, it's got levels to it, right? But you first learn how to build the boundaries in your physical realm that emanate from your own understanding as to why you're putting the boundary there, and for putting yourself first and valuing and respecting yourself. And just because you've changed, just because you've started valuing and respecting yourself today, doesn't mean that the outside world is with your program. Okay? So let people get used to the new you, and whoever can't deal with it, let them go. Whoever is an enemy to your progress and your change, you move away from them. Recognize when people are not of your story, are not of your vibration, and are actually people who are enemies to you moving forward, to you evolving and transforming and changing. Okay. So I think I'm gonna stop there. Yeah. Spirit just needs you to follow through on the things that you're doing for yourself that are good for you. And the boundaries are really important. Follow through on your boundaries. Respect and value your personal authority, because if you don't take yourself seriously, if you don't take your boundaries and your authority seriously, no one on the outside is going to take you and your authority and your boundaries seriously. Okay? People should be able to understand you just by your look or your silence. We're moving into a place where you're going to learn how to communicate energetically and no longer with your words. Anyway, I'm going to pull a card now, okay? And yeah, let's see what Spirit has to support our conversation, or give somebody who's watching our video a nudge in a specific direction, okay? So I'm going to pull today from the guidebook, Trust Your Vibes Oracles by Sonia Juket. And yeah, let's see what Spirit has to support us, our video, or give someone a nudge who's watching, right, in a specific direction. Let's see. May I please have fun with your Spirit? Ask your Spirit helpers, like I said. Ask the divine, sit with the divine, be grateful, ask them to intervene. Okay, ask them to help you see, help you be able to decipher and acknowledge when there's energy in the energetic realm, trying to push against the boundaries you're setting for yourself. Ask the divine to intervene and help you follow through when your mother, who is entitled and goes into tantrum mode and can't take it when you assert yourself, or when you say no, when you say not now, or when you don't report, right? Ask them to intervene and to help you stay grounded and not succumb to that energy, not succumb to the conflict and the pushback against your boundaries, okay? Ask the divine to help lay the people to rest, the energy of the people to rest, whether it's friends, family, whoever it is that you've let go of, to help you close out those cycles, to help you develop strength against the energy and the pushback of boundaries that you're developing for yourself. Ask the divine to intervene and show you where you need to enforce and put boundaries boundaries up and how you can strengthen your own personal authority. Ask the divine to give you the courage to walk away and recognize and take people serious the first time, who show you that they don't respect you, your boundaries, your authority, and your attempt to move into a different energy space and way of being. People who joke about you making changes, people who ridicule. Those are not the people you want in your life. Be strict with yourself, be strict with your energy. You also develop that respect from people by the way you carry yourself and the way you value yourself. And you showing that you don't give a damn about their emotional states of being, because it's none of your business. What you eat doesn't make the next person shit, right? Why should the next person feel so entitled to get themselves emotionally worked up off of what you decide to do for yourself? A direction you decide to go into, right? Only your mind will limit you. Only your mind will tell you, and your program will tell you you're being selfish, will tell you that you're wrong, will tell you that you need to self-sacrifice and you need to have compassion for people who are entitled, for people who don't want to take accountability for themselves and their energy and their emotions and regulate themselves and also live within their own means. I don't know why I feel like I need to say that. Okay? So, ask your spirit helpers. Let's see what the book has to say. Number 15. The book says, this is a time to call on your helper guides, those higher beings on the other side who are masterful in addressing the specific challenges you face right now. They're ready, willing, and able to gently help you achieve your goals. So don't hesitate to ask for help. Open up to their influence when you're stuck by doing something completely unrelated to the challenge at hand, such as going for a short walk or relaxing with a cup of tea. If you want to contact a specific helper guide, it could even be passed over loved ones who are always with you. Not even passed over, they're just, like I said before, you can do that as well. They can be people known only to you, such as your father or your grandfather, or known to all as public figures or famous people. You can also ask your deceased grandmother, known for her apple pies, to help you prepare dinner for your boss or a new love interest. Have them participate with you, okay? They love it. And don't be shy to ask for the best in every area. Your helper guides love to help and will, okay? So from the higher realm, from the other energy, they imprint consciousness and energy onto you. Again, if your energy is too crowded and too full and being influenced and pulled in all sorts of directions and split with all the bullshit of the other people on the outside, you won't also be able to understand and decipher appropriately what the higher realm, like I've said before, is imprinting onto you to help you, to guide you, to help you get through your tasks, make a decision, or whatever it might be, okay? So don't take these things, don't take boundaries, don't take closing out cycles with people, don't take these things for granted. There's always something bigger to it all, okay? Way more than just the consideration of the physical realm and the physical experience, okay? Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there, family, okay? And I'll see you in the next video.